I run through everything. I run through control setup. What happens if you stall car? How to stall car? How to start car back up? As daft as it sounds, it took me fucking hours to find out. If people are new to the game, they want to know, then I might as well do a lot. The two options. Gameplay. I have mine. What you want on? Diving assist allows all.
Assist my ring.
If you look, it says yeah. I mean, there's no way traction. Need that
Not yet,
on.
dude.
It's weird how it works. If you have it on real, it locks everything, so you can't have traction control on. Need it on all, and have all these set. Yeah. So it enables them in game, if that makes sense. It's like now, when I go and tune my car, I can tune traction control, whereas before, if you have it on real, you can't tune it. It's just off. I mean, so it's not actually. It's worded it wrong. Even though it's real, it's not. Traction control off. So you need these on and say yeah to enable. Controls. So I've got my control pad set up. Don't have to copy that if you don't want. Automatic clutch, that's a yeah or no. Still use your clutch. I still use my clutch. Even though it's on automatic, you can still use it. So even on manual. That's basically my button layout. As you look at mine, that's basically how it's set up. Basically, it's set same as Forza. That's my Forza setup. That's what I use for Forza. And that's my configuration. I've got on steering dead zone. Basically, dead zones in between your centre and your edge. Do you know what I mean? You've got two edges. You've got new control. You can set it at 0. I set it at 50. It's just to get a little bit of play in between. Not jerking. Do you know what I mean? That's what I found. If you set it at 0, as soon as you touch left or right, it'll jerk. If you set it at 50, imagine like turning. You can turn first. It's more smoother while you're turning. Steering sensitivity, I have it at 90. I had it at 100, but it's too sharp. 90 is probably about bang on. A lot of people are setting this at like 10, 15. It's too slow for a controller. What you'll notice is while you're driving, in a real car that is, because I drive in real life, going around the corner, say if your car goes into a skid, turn that way, and you need to turn that way pretty quick. If you've got your steering sensitivity turn right down, turning back like that in game, so when you're going off track, not turning. You know what I mean? Whereas if you get turned up, allowing you to do that. And then your sensitivity, which is and then why does that keep on changing? Sensitivity, that's how fast it'll come across. Your sensitivity, that's how fast it'll come across. So even though your steering sensitivity is quick, your sensitivity might not be as quick. Do you know what I mean? So it's getting them two balances right. I mean, throttle sensitivity, your throttle dead zones, basically how much you can put a button in before you could even do anything. Self-explanatory, really. Sensitivity, it was at about 50. Basically, then imagine an actual accelerator. You push an accelerator down slowly, do it lower revs, smash it all the way down to the bottom, you're at 100%. Put it halfway, you're at 50%. Throttle sensitivity is if you push it like this on your controller. So basically, as you're pressing this, basically sensitivity. Brake dead zone, same. Brake sensitivity, same as your throttle sensitivity. The slower you pull it in, the slower it'll brake. IA sensitivity, if you push it 1% or 2%, if you've got it 100%, as soon as you touch your brake, it'll lock up. That's how I've just set mine. Clutch sensitivity 70, that's when I have it on full manual. Basically, as soon as you touch clutch, it'll more or less change. These are two main ones that you need. Speed sensitivity on 80. Control the filtering sensitivity on 20. That's literally how fast it'll move the actual wheel of the car. Speed sensitivity is when you're going in a straight line. Say you want to turn left and right, but you're doing 100 miles an hour. You don't want to be turning left and right as fast as what you will be doing if you're turning 20 miles an hour. Do you know what I mean? If you've got 20 miles an hour and you need to go around a bend, you need to be able to turn pretty quick. Doing 100 miles an hour, you need to make a slight adjustment. You don't want to be turning the same as what you do when you're 20 miles an hour. That's your speed sensitivity. Control the filter sensitivity. Control the filter sensitivity is how quick from you pressing a button just to your computer. Obviously, how that is. I just find 20% is just about right, because it gives you the right movement. Force feedback 100, so you can feel your brakes. You've got to have it on controller input mode number 3. I found best for number 3. Advanced, turn advanced on. Soft steering dampening needs to be on.
Do I have to write this down?
Yeah, you have to write it down. You writing it down?
No.
I'll chop your head off. Soft steering dampening needs to be on. Basically, that's when you turn your wheel, it makes it smoother. Do you know what I mean? It's not jerking and shit. It'll look like your small movements will be jerky, but when you're going on to full lock round a bend, they're pretty smooth. Your visual wheel filtering, that's basically when you're going on full lock and you're going round a bend, your guy will take hand off steering wheel, put it into the centre. I've smashed my wife in a minute.
But literally.
In bot it. Opposite lock help, turn it off. Basically, what happens if you've got that on? The retard's what can't steer on way back. So basically, if you're going off grass, automatic opposite lock help off. As soon as you turn, it'll turn it a bit more. Sometimes what happens, you'll notice, while I've got it on, your wheels will lock, and even though you're pressing left on that, your wheels on computer will be right. You need to make sure that's turned off. That's how I've got mine set. Funny. Be sensitivity and controller filtering sensitivity and you're on 20. Viewing sensitivity. Zone 50. Pretty much it. Well, that keeps on changing, I'm not even touching it. Yeah, as soon as you've done that, just make sure you save it. All these from throttle sensitivity and to clutch sensitivity, that's just personal preference. You can set that whatever you want. It's mainly your steering.
Oh God.
These two top, and from these two, you set them at that, and you should be like pretty much set. When you go into game, I'll show you what to do when you go into game. Don't forget on your gameplay, driving assist allowed allows you to make changes to traction control, stability control, anti-lock brakes. You need access to that. Don't go thinking that if you've got it set to real, it locks your brakes, so your traction control's not on. It works opposite way on all, so you can adjust it and turn it to yeah. So yeah, and then in game when you go to tune your car, set your traction control to whatever you want. Then I'll show you.
Have we got any water?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what, so?
A different car. Try
What?
this Beast. I'll show you what to do when you get into game. You have to do this with every single car. Doesn't matter what car it is. You don't do it. You don't save it for you. And say if you go onto like an online multiplayer, want to join in, and it puts you in a car you've never driven before, chances are you probably won't have done this. You need to do this. If you guys have got any questions, fire them up in chat and I'll try and answer them best I can. But edit tuning setup. Now I've got access to traction control. I put steering assist on all. As if you've got it on real, that's locked. It'll be locked at like 1%. And that way you can't adjust if you want any slip or not along the back of your wheels. It's like 5%. But this is what you need to do. This is to help you with your steering and your controller. Every other setting on that will not help. Let's get down to this, your steering ratio. You need to set this on every single car that you get into. This is personal preference, so what you want to do, I'd say to begin with, onto free play, up in a car, set this to halfway between fast and slow, go a lap round track. Once you put them controller settings in, go a lap round track, between that's on every single car that you're going to get into. Say if you're not going to use an F1, it doesn't really matter because you're not going to use it. If you are going to use it, then make sure you go on steering ratio first. Say in between, don't have to be bang on, just more or less, and then just give your car a try. I'm getting full lock. Not jerking all over the place. How smooth it feels. How about that? I'm out poor driving. Fast into corners. One thing I'll say about this: if you're coming too fast into a corner, if you imagine, say like that, then you're doing 60 miles an hour. You try to turn full, it'll not turn because in real life you've got obviously gravity. Do you know what I mean? So now, as the controller's set, you have to get your speed down to be able to turn in tight corners.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas before, our controller was set standard. You could turn 100 mile an hour, same as when you were stood still, so your wheels would go like that, 100 mile an hour. Compared to like now, as it speeds, it slows. It like slows that gap down. If that makes sense. It's like the faster you go now, the less you're able to turn. Whereas the slower you go now, the more you can turn. I'll show you on this corner. How quick it turns now. Oh, speed up, let's hit the turn. You have to get your power right down. Just what it'll be like in real life. Try and show you guys with controller facing. You can see how the car reacts. A bit hard, like, but pull up. Now you've got sensitivity on your bike. Everything's set. They power down to be able to turn. Yeah, when I'm coming around the corner, I'm having to let go of power, because the thing is, if you leave power on, your car now will start pushing out towards your edge. As soon as you take the accelerator off, it brings it closer in. So when you go around an apex, it's just getting right with your accelerator. If you accelerate all the way around it, chances are your car's going to go from one end at apex, which is the inside edge, to the outside edge. It'll start pushing across. Once you start getting used to tracks, when you're coming around an apex, you'll learn when to put your accelerator on now. So when you're coming around an apex, you can accelerate and it'll push the car to outside edge, like it'll do on this corner. Coming back into that apex then, as I come back round, basically now the controller's set. Excuse me. Basically now the controller's set, as I'm coming back round, I started braking.
Right,
So if you're going too quick, from the outside edge, you start braking, it'll pull it back in. Even though I'm not turning any more on the steering, now it's set. So when you brake, it'll bring it back in. If that makes sense. pretty much same. That's our steering setup. I've done it on controller now. I mean, you can literally go from a car like that to F1 car. You've got to adjust that steering ratio in each. So once you've set your controller, make sure you go on and check your steering ratio out. Steering ratio is just down to personal preference. I mean, if you want it to turn quicker, if you want it to turn slower, that's setting it. But I mean, that'll work with, I mean, that car and to one. You don't need to change actual controller settings. Oh, this has got a tighter turning circle than that car would have just been in. That car would have just been in, it's got like a wider turning circle. This is it's a lot narrower. All you need to do is adjust steering ratio. So it's like when you come out of one car and go into like something like this, steering ratio, you don't want it too fast, you don't want it too slow. You need it like in between. Just tuning it. I mean, onto steering ratio, set it again, middle, set it middle. There we go. Eyes up. That steering, it's a bit too jerky, that's what you need to do. But it's ratio. It being an F1 car, obviously that car will just come out, and the GT car, you need that to turn pretty sharpish. Whereas an F1 car, you don't. You need it fine. You need a lot finer fine tuning the steering ratio. So like, from turning left to right, you want to be able to do it smoothly. You don't want it to jerk. So you just turn steering ratio up, like 20.4 right now. What? Destroying car. How smoother it is now. That's literally because I hadn't altered the controller setting sensitivity. It's down to steering ratio sensitivity. And you need to do that way because now that I've done it with this car, when I get out of it, if I go into a multiplayer race, it'll be set on that setting. Or if it isn't set on that setting, you're going to know where to set it to. It's basically, this has got a smaller turning circle than a GT car. So you need to set each individual car. It's pretty in-depth what they've done. It's good what they've done. It's just you find a lot of people. Shut that door. Go on. 2 seconds.
I was doing the other because I go up and he thinks I'm going to take him for a walk.
Pull it down. Pull it down. Oh, yeah, what you're finding is a lot of people are jumping on board, they'll slap disc in, pick up controller, and they think that every car's set same as where's it, and there's a lot more to it. We're being a simulator. It's not like the average. It's not Forza. Do you know what I mean? It's completely different. It's good what they've done. It's just a lot of people don't understand it, and they haven't released enough information for people to understand it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've got a game. And literally, there's not even a fucking manual for it. Do you know what I mean? So all this you've got to figure out yourself. It took me 4 days to figure all this shit out. It's just a lot of people to jump on and they think it's going to be like Forza Horizon 2, and it's there's a lot of settings to it. It's just understanding them and someone helping you. That's why I decided to do like a tutorial like this, because nobody knows what they're doing with control settings. There's a couple of videos, but they're not really explanatory. That's why I thought I'd do like a tutorial to help you guys figure them out. But that's pretty much where I've got to at the minute. If you try them settings, them controller settings, and see how you guys get on with them, you don't have to copy them down to a T.